I am coming to your home for teaching the online classes. Now we are passing to the topic first lesson in the 11th biozoology class, that is chapter 1, living world. Living world. Living beings. See, in zoology the first topic is the living world. உயிரினங்களின் உலகம், உயிர் வாழ்பவைகள், உயிர் உலகம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். உயிருலகம். The living beings. Living beings means what? உயிரினங்கள் அப்படின்னா என்ன? Living beings. See, objects that exhibiting the growth, development, responsiveness and other character of the life are designated as the living beings. என்னன்னா வளரணும், பெருகணும், respond to the stimulus, தூண்டுதலுக்கு ஏற்ற துலங்கள், மற்ற கேரக்டர்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் இருந்தா that is called the living beings அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். Object that exhibiting their growth, development and the responsiveness, that is called the living beings. Respond to the stimuli. For an example, non-living things எடுத்துங்க, ஒரு ஸ்டோன் எடுத்துக்கோ, ஒரு பெஞ்ச் எடுத்துக்கோ, that cannot respond to us, but the living beings only can respond to us. Those things which can respond to stimuli, those things that can respire, that can grow, that can reproduce, that are called as the living beings. உயிர் உலகம், உயிர் வாழ்பவைகள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். In this world, nearly 8.7 million species of organism has been estimated to exist in the earth அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. இந்த உலகத்துல 8.5 million உனக்கு தெரியும், 1 million is equal to 10 lakhs. 8.7 millions of species of living organisms, both plant and also the animals இருந்திருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. சார், அதுல 86% of land species, 91% of the aquatic species, that is marine species, are discovered, described and also the cataloged. இது animals, நம்ம படிக்கிறது எல்லாமே animals பத்தி படிக்கிறோம். Living beings na, that means both plants and also the animals. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the animal living being, விலங்குகள் அப்படின்னு. அதுல 8.7 millions of species were identified அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். அதே போல 86% of that living animals are the land animals. 97% are the aquatic species. That means the marine species அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Though the humans are not in the top of the hierarchical system, இந்த வரிசைப்படுத்துதலில் hierarchical system அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Animal classification அப்படின்னு பார்க்கும்போது அதுல கிளாசிபிகேஷன் சொல்லும் போது human beings are in the top of the hierarchical position. இருக்கிறதுலயே டாப் மோஸ்ட் லெவல்ல இருக்கிறோம் யாருன்னா the human beings தான். The primitive formல இருந்து பார்த்தோம்னா the highest top most level given to the human being. அதுலயும் the human beings also cannot live independently. They depend upon the plants and also the animal for their basic needs, that is the food and other necessities. உணவுக்காகவும் பலவற்றுக்காகவும் பல பிற தேவைகளுக்காக we depend upon the plants and also the animals. தனித்து வாழ முடியாதுங்க. Animals also used by the human being for the well-being. For what? The animals are used as the source of the labor, source of the food, for in the farming and also the pets animal and other economical benefits. The world has many variety of the animals that can be utilized by the human being as the food material, as the source of the labor. கால்நடைகள்லாம் நம்ம விவசாயத்துக்கு பயன்படுத்துறோம், the farming and other workக்குள்ள பயன்படுத்துறோம், and also the pet animals பயன்படுத்திக்கிறோம், and also the other economic important. For an example, the honeybee or the beeswax, அல்லது the sericultureல பட்டுப்பூச்சி வளர்க்கறது, இப்படி நிறைய variety of animals are has the economical importance. Understanding of the unique characters, each and every individual, each and every animal of this world has a unique character. So understanding of the unique character of an organism, their living place, that is the habitat, and also their habit, their character, their activities, behavior, and the evolutionary relationship among themselves. Evolution means what? the changes that occur during the course of the life of the already existing species. ஏற்கனவே இருக்கக்கூடிய உயிரினம் படிப்படியா எப்படி மற்றொரு உயிரினமாக மாறி இருக்கு. So by understanding the evolutionary significance, these things are very important for the well-being of the human being. Either character features of an organism, we should understand the character features of an organism, the habitat dwelling place of the organism, and also the habit, that means the behavioral pattern of an organism, and also the evolutionary sequence. These things are very important for the well-being of the human being. Next, for biodiversity. See, the diversity, that means the diverse form of living organism, diverse form of biological organism, different kind of the living organism, that is called the biodiversity in the living world. என்ன சொல்றாங்க? Diversity in the living world or the biodiversity is the occurrence of the wide variety of forms differ in their morphological feature, in their size, color, and the anatomical feature, habitat, habit, etc. In various aspects, the living organisms are differ from one another. That is called as the biodiversity. The biological organisms may differ among themselves in various aspects like the morphological feature, anatomical feature, and also the dwelling place and their habit, habitat wise, everything they can differ from one another. That is called biodiversity, different form of living organism. Each different kind of the plant and animal or the microorganisms represent as the species. Species is the basic unit of the evolution. The basis unit of the taxonomy or the அடிப்படை அழகு என்னன்னு பார்த்தோம்னா species ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். If a species supposed to change in a character, that was represented as the new species. So different kind of the plant and also the animals, even the microorganism also represent as a separate species. Earth has many habitats with the wide range of living organisms inhabiting them. The earth has the wide variety of climatic conditions, various regions. So depend upon the climatic conditions, different environmental conditions are also occur. So the dwelling animal in that environmental condition also has the different adaptive characters. That is very important. See, the characteristic features of an organism is directly linked to the environmental condition. The environmental conditions means the climatic conditions. In this world, not in all the places the climatic condition is same. So in different regions of the world, the different regions of the earth, the climatic conditions is different. So the organism which are inhabiting them also has the different type of the characters. So the each earth has many habitats, different environmental conditions, different dwelling places with the changed climatic conditions. Plants and animals are present in almost all the places of the world. From all the regions of the earth. See, from polar ice caps to volcanic hot springs. Polar ice through பனிப்பகுதியில இருந்து volcanic hot springs ரொம்ப ஹீட்டா இருக்கக்கூடிய இடம் வரைக்குமே. அதே போல from shallow lagoons to deepest ocean, ஆழம் குறைவான நீர்ப்பகுதியிலிருந்து deepest Pacific ocean, like that. Deepest oceans வரைக்கும் எல்லா aquatic regionsல organisms இருக்கு. Like that. From the tropical rainforest to the purchased deserts, மழையே இல்லாத desertsல இருந்தும் மழையா பெஞ்சிட்டு tropical regions வரைக்கும் எல்லா regions. So all the regions of the earth, the organisms are occupied. Okay, so there are variety of species that have been adapted successfully to live in diverse ecosystem. Here the word adapted, because in different kind of the habitat has its own the climatic condition. So the animals has to live in that area. So for that they may get some adaptive characters. They modified themselves to live in this condition. So wide variety of species that have adapted successfully in the dwelling places. Okay, right. Now the ecosystem. Ecosystem. What I mean by the ecosystem is the community of living and also the non-living component of the environment. In our environment, see, just imagine our surrounding. In our surrounding, we can see both the living and also the non-living thing. The living things means what? The plants and animals and microbes which are present in our surrounding are the living factors. At the same time, the non-living factor, that is the physical, chemical factors such as the rain or the water or the soil or the chemical or the light, temperature, pressure, humidity, etc., etc. See, these are the non-living factors. So the combined nature of the living and also the non-living system is called as the ecosystem. So the definition is what? Ecosystem is a community of living organism, that means a plant and animal, and also the non-living environment such as including the minerals, climate, soil, water, sunlight, that are called that has a very good interrelationship, that is called as an ecosystem. This definition was given by A.G. Tansley in which year 1935. At the same time, the presence of large number of the species in a particular ecosystem is called as the biological diversity or the biodiversity. In a particular ecosystem, not ecosystem not only contains the single species. In each and every ecosystem, different variety of the living organisms are there. So that is called as the biodiversity. The presence of large number of the species, both the plant species as well as the animal species, in a particular ecosystem is called as the biological diversity or the biodiversity. The term biodiversity was first coined by whom? Walter Röschen in 1985, and it was defined by A.D. Wilson. The name of the scientist and the year is very important. Carefully note it. Okay. The definition of the ecosystem, definition of biodiversity. Okay. Now, what are the characteristic features of the living organism? Characteristic features. உயிர் வாழக்கூடிய உயிரினங்களின் பண்புகள். See, variety of characters can be expressed by the living organism. See, cellular structure, cellular organization, and the nutrition, mode of nutrition, respiration, metabolism, growth, respond to stimuli, movement, reproduction, excretion, adaptation, homeostasis. See, these are the various characteristic features of the living organism. What are they? Cellular structure, the structure of the cell or the shape of the cell, and the cellular organization. That means what? The organization of an organism, either the cellular grade or the tissue grade or the organ grade or the organ system grade, like this. And the mode of nutrition, not all the organism. Nutrition means what? The way by which the organism getting food material. See, these are the various characteristic features of the living organism. Now we are going to see one by one. See, first one is what? Cellular structure. Cellular. See, the definite property of the living being. The living being, that means the living organism. The basic unit of the body is what? Cell. Either the unicellular organism or the multicellular organism. The building block of the body, the basic unit of the body is the cell. That is the definite property of the living being. Each living being is the complex entity which is formed of one or more number of the cell. If the organism made up of the single cell, unicellular. If the organism made up of multicell, that is called multicellular. These cells are made up of life-giving substance. That point is very important. Life-giving substance, that is the protoplasm, popularly known as the living matter. One more question. See, the cell is made up of the living thing, that is the living matter, that is the protoplasm, is the life-giving substance that is present inside the cell. Okay. Next one. So the cell is the basic unit. Cell is the basic unit. And the cellular organization, already I told what level of organization. Some of the organisms, their body is made up of simple organization. Some of them have the complex organization. For an example, our human body is the highly complex organization. But at the same time, the amoeba, the unicellular organism, very simple organization. So the living being has an organization. That is, the living being consists of several components and subcomponents which cooperate with one another for the well-being of the whole organism. Whole organism. For an example, our body, the human body, made up of the many number of the organ system, highly complex organization, organ grade level of organization. Each of the organ grade, that means organ system, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, reproductive system, like that. Each of the organ system made up of variety of organ. Organs are, each and every organ is made up of variety of tissues. The tissue means what? The organized collection of similarized functionally, structurally similarized cell group. Collection of or the group of structurally, functionally similarized cell is called as the tissue. Each tissue is made up of what? The cell. So already I told, the cell is the basic unit of the body. The cells structurally, functionally similarized cell group form the tissue. Functionally similarized tissues form the organ. Functionally similarized organ form the organ system. So the cell, tissue, organ grade, see organ system, they are cooperate with one another. Even though our body is made up of so many organ systems, they can't to act independently. That point is very important. They are act in a coordinated manner. For an example, the heart. Even though the heart going to pump the blood throughout the body, it cannot act independently. The kidney going to excrete the waste material, but it cannot act independently. Like that, each and every bodily organ system consists of the organ consists of the tissues, everything, even though has its own function, they can't act independently. They should be act coordinated manner. For the well-being of the whole organism, the living being has multiple level of organization. That means what? Some of them has the acellular grade level of organization that is present in the unicellular animal like amoeba. Body is made up of single cell. All the functions performed by the single cell, that is called acellular grade level of organization. In multicellular, see the sponges, porifera, the cellular grade level of organization. Body is made up of different cell. Each and every function of the body performed by the cell. Each and every bodily function like the respiration or the excretion or the reproduction performed by the separate tissue grade level of organization. Bodily functions performed by the organ grade level of organization. Each and every bodily functions are performed by the organ system, that is called organ system level of organization. So in living being has different variety of or the multiple level of organization. Next one, the nutrition, the way of obtaining food from the environment. See, the food is very important for the continuity of the life of an organism. So the organisms should obtain the food. From where they can obtain the food? Only from the environment. So how the way by which organisms may obtain the food from the environment, that is called as the nutrition. The art of nourishment அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். உணவினை சூழ்நிலையிலிருந்து எடுத்துக்கொள்ளக்கூடிய திறமை, எடுத்துக்கொள்ளக்கூடிய வழக்கம், நடைமுறை என்ன? Different organisms has the different variety of the nutrition. Some of them are the autotrophic, some of them are the holozoic, some of them are the heterotrophic, some of them are the parasitic, some of them are the saprophytic. So the different way of nutrition depend upon that also the organisms are classified. Next one, the respiration. What do you mean by the respiration? The energy releasing metabolic activity. See, for doing the biological activities or the life activities, the organisms are needed in energy. How can they get the energy? Only through the food. The food material should be oxidized and release in energy. Only by the oxidation of the food, the organisms may get that energy. Such oxidation of food and the releasing of energy is the catabolic activity, that is called as the respiration. That is called as the respiration. That means breaking down of food into the energy molecule. That is called the respiration. Next one, metabolism. Metabolism means what? The chemical reactions. என்ன definition பாருங்க? Some total of all chemical reaction occurring in an organism due to the specific interaction amongst the different type of molecule which in the interior of the cell is called metabolism. Inside. Same. Body is made up of what? Building block of the body is the cell. The food materials are entered into the cell where they are going to be oxidized. Okay. Some total chemical reaction performed by the different type of the molecules that will take place inside the cell, that is called metabolism. That is called some total of all chemical reaction. That is nothing but the chemical reactions occur in an organism due to the specific interaction amongst the different type of the chemical molecules. That takes place in where? Inside the cell, interior of the cell, that is called metabolism. In metabolism, there are two kinds. It is a basic property of the living being. That is the basic property. Metabolism of two types. One is anabolism. That is the building up reaction, building up process. That means the constructive metabolism. வளர்ச்சி அடைகிறது anabolism. Synthesis of the complex molecule from the simpler one. From the simple molecule or by the union of the simple molecule, the complex molecules are produced. That is called the anabolic activity or the constructive metabolism. Second one is catabolism. That is the breaking up process or the destructive metabolism. The names la konjam nalla nyam vechukano. Anabolism, building up metabolism, building up process, or the constructive metabolism. Like that, the catabolism is the breaking up process or the destructive metabolism. Here, breaking of simple molecule, complex molecule to simple molecule. See, they are antagonistic in nature. Anabolism is opposite to catabolism. In catabolism, breaking up process, complex molecule break up into smaller molecule. Anabolism, building up process, simple molecules are constructed to large molecules. Okay. Next, growth of the body. What do you mean with the growth? Growth is fine. It is one of the physiological process. It was clearly defined. What is that? Irreversible increase in mass of an individual. Underline the word irreversible. Mean to vara mudiyala. See, irreversible increase in the mass of individual. Udal valarchi adaikirathu. Udal valarchi. Increasing the size of the body. Increasing the size of the body. That is called mass. Weight adhigamagudunu solranga. Irreversible increase in mass of an individual, that is called growth. Multicellular organism increase in mass by the cell division. That is very important. See, multicellular organism may increase in the size of the body by the cell division, and the unicellular organism also can grow by the cell division. So either the multicellular or the unicellular organism, the body of the organism is increased in size. That is called as the growth. Okay, what is that? Another one specific factor. In plants, growth is the continuous one. See, nalla gavanchukano. In plant, the growth of the plant is the continuous one because where the meristematic area, meristematic, that point is very important. Where the cell divisions occur regularly. நீ சின்ன விதையில இருந்து எத்தனை வருஷம் ஆனாலும் சரி அந்த மரம் வளர்ந்துகிட்டே தான் இருக்கும் because there is the meristematic tissue. So in the plants the growth is the continuous one throughout the life of an organism, but in animal the growth occur to the certain age only. ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட வயசு வரைக்கும் தான் growth இருக்கும். After that, the cell division, already I told, the growth may occur only by the cell division. In plant, the growth is the continuous one. So the continuous cell divisions are occur throughout the life. But in animal, the growth is to the particular period only, to the particular age only. After that, there is no growth. The cell divisions may occur only for what? To replace the worn out tissues or the lost cells. உடம்பில் இழக்கப்பட்ட செல்களுக்காக அல்லது இறந்து போன செல்களுக்காக மட்டுமே புதுசா செல் டிவிஷன் நடக்கும் ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட ஏஜுக்கு அப்புறம். ஓகே, ரைட். தட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். நவ் ரெஸ்பாண்ட் டு ஸ்டிமுலை. That is very important character of the living organism. See, the non-living things never respond to stimuli, but the living things can respond to stimuli, by which we can identify the living things. See, it is in awareness of the surrounding and respond to external stimuli. சுற்றுப்புறத்திலிருந்து வரக்கூடிய தூண்டுதல் அதற்கேற்ப உயிரின் தன் ஒரு வினையை செய்கிறது. It is in awareness of the external environment. சுற்றுப்புறத்தில் ஏற்படக்கூடிய மாற்றங்களுக்கு கண்டிப்பா உயிரினமிருந்து ஒரு துலங்கல் கிடைக்கும். The external stimuli may be the physical or the chemical or the biological. எப்படி வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். See, the stimuli from the environment may be the biological or the physical or the chemical. For that stimuli, the living things can go into response. See, நீ எடுத்துக்கோ, நல்லா தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கிற. Suppose the climatic condition is so chill, automatically our body becomes stimulated. A simple example. Next, all organisms from the primitive prokaryotes to most advanced complex eukaryotes varaikkum are able to sense in response to the environmental factor. Either the primitive organism like the prokaryotes up to the complex body, that is the human being, eukaryotic. See, in the prokaryotic, eukaryotic. The prokaryotic is a very primitive organism. Eukaryotic is somewhat the advanced one. Both the prokaryotic and also the eukaryotic animal, they can respond to the stimuli. They can respond to the external factors. See, in animal, the stimuli are preserved by the sense organ because the animals from the amoeba to the human being, they may respond to the stimuli because they have the sensation, sensory cell, sensory organ, sensory tissues. Though the lands due to the process such as the sense organ. The animal stimuli are preserved by the sense organ, though they do not do not possess such as the sense organ. They do respond to the external factor like the light, water, temperature and other organism. See, even the primitive organism also has the sense organ. They can respond to the various environmental factors. Okay. Next, movement. What is the movement? Movement. See, you must know the difference between the movement and the locomotion. If the bodily organ can change the position from one part to one position to another part, another position is called as the movement. The bodily organ supposed to change the position from one position to another position, that is called the movement. If the entire organism can change the position from one place to another place, that is called the locomotion. See, the living being shows the movement of their part. The bodily part of an organism supposed to change the position, that is called the movement. If the entire organism going to change the position from one place to another, that is called as the locomotion. See, these things are also stimulated by external factor like the temperature, water. It may occur both plant and also the animals. Reproduction. That is the basic function of the living organism. The reproduction is the basic function of the living organism. Formation of the new individual of the similar kind. Formation of the new individual of the similar kind. தன்னை ஒத்த மாதிரியே தன்னை போன்ற ஒரு உயிரினத்தை உருவாக்குதல். That process is called as the reproduction. That is the formation of new individual. Here there are two types. One is the sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. Another one is the sexual reproduction. The asexual reproduction, carefully listen, it is very helpful for the 12th syllabus. The asexual reproduction is the uniparental. ஒரே ஒரு individual தான். Here there is no two parent, only one parent. Formation of new individual from the specialized or the unspecialized part of the single parent without the formation of and the fusion of gametes. Either the specialized part or the unspecialized part of the parent going to produce a new individual without the formation of gamete, without the fusion of gamete. That point is very important. There is no formation of gamete, there is no fusion of the gamete, only the body parts, either the specialized or the unspecialized part of the parent going to develop into a new individual. That is called the asexual. Here it is the uniparental. Only one individual is involved. What are the various methods of the asexual reproduction? See, sporulation, spore formation, binary fission, the parent body divided into two individuals, multiple fission, parent body divided into many individuals, fragmentation, body parts become divided into many pieces that are going to be developed, and the regeneration, the last part of the body going to be developed. See, these are the various kinds of the sporulation, binary fission, multiple fission, fragmentation, regeneration. See, these are the various kinds of the asexual reproduction. Here, the organism which undergo the asexual reproduction is immortal in nature. Immortal, See, the sexual reproduction, what is the next one? Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is generally the biparental in nature. Two individuals are involved in it. One acts as the male, another one acts as the female. So the two individuals are in there. The two individuals are going to produce their own gametes. The gametes are united together to produce a zygote. That is the special feature of the sexual reproduction. Here, biparental. Asexual reproduction is a uniparental. Sexual reproduction is a biparental. Involves the formation of and the fusion of two gametes, and the two gametes are united together to form the zygote. Here, The asexual reproduction, which are undergo by the process of the sporulation or the binary fission or the multiple fission, is immortal in nature. இறப்பு இல்லாதது. ஏன்னா the parent body divided into two new individuals. The parent body divided into many new individuals. That are the daughter individuals. So the parent body not going to die. That will divide it into two, become the two new individuals. But the asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction is not like that. In sexual reproduction, the parent body is there, alive. From that, only the gametes are produced. By the union of the gametes, the new individuals are developed. So here, the parent body is separate and the offspring body is separate. But in asexual reproduction, the parent body divided into two or many pieces become the new individual, so that is immortal in nature. Next, excretion. The waste material as the result of the metabolic activity, that means catabolism. As the result of the metabolic activity, the waste materials are produced. Such waste materials are supposed to retain in the body of the animal that are very harmful, so they should be eliminated. So the excretion means waste generated by the living organism going to be disposed of. உடலிலிருந்து வெளியேற்றப்படுதல் வேண்டும். எப்படி? By the various mechanism, by the various organs, and the excretory product are also different based on the nutritional habit. Based on the nutritional habit, the excretory product of the animals also is different. The excretory product of the animal also depend upon the environmental condition, especially the availability of water. Based on the availability of water in the surrounding of the animal, the excretory product are also different. Generally, in the animal kingdom, there are three kinds of the excretory product: ammonia, urea, uric acid. Ammonia, urea, uric acid are the three kinds of the waste product. Based upon their elimination of the type of excretory product, the animals are classified into three types. See, ammonodelic, ureodelic, uricodelic. Animal which can eliminate the waste in the form of ammonia, called as an ammonodelic, eliminate the waste in the form of urea, ureodelic, eliminate the waste in the form of uric acid, uricodelic. See, these are the various kind of the substances of the waste material. At the same time, different kind of the organism in the animal kingdom excrete the waste by using a different kind of the excretory organ, such as the say contractile vacuole. See, that is present in the primitive organism like the amoeba, paramecium, euglena, like this, and also the flame cells. The flame cells are present in the ctenophora, and also the platyhelminthes. The nephridia. Nephridia is the excretory organ. Nephridia is the excretory organ of the annelid group of organisms. The flame cells are the excretory organ of the Taenia solium and Malpighian capsules, green gland. See, these are the excretory organ of the arthropoda animals. Malpighian capsules already we studied. The cockroach, the green gland, the crab, and the scorpio. In these organisms, these are the excretory organ. See, and also the vertebrates. From the fishes, patina, the kidney is the excretory organ. Based on the type of the nephron in the kidney, there are various types of the kidney: protonephric kidney, mesonephric kidney, metanephric kidney. So these are the various kinds of the excretory organ which are helpful for the elimination of waste from the body. Then the adaptation. See, the adaptation is very, very important. The adaptation of the organism is very important because the climatic condition of an organisms are very different. If the animal is supposed to live in this environment, they should be adapt because the climatic condition is going to change. Nothing is permanent. The change only the permanent. The climatic conditions also is undergo the change continuously. So according to the change in the environmental climatic condition of the environment, organism also has to get the change. Then only they can successfully survive in this area. So what is adaptation? Useful inheritable variation. That is very important. Such variations are going to be inherited generation after generation. That variations are going to inherited. So useful inheritable variation are the changes in the form, or the function or the behavior of an animal which help an organism to adjust well and successfully in its environment is called as an adaptation. Form of the organism. That means living form of the organisms na shape, உடல் உயிரினங்களுடைய அமைப்பு ரீதியான மாறுபாடுகள். அதே போல functions செயல்பாடுகள், behavior, respond to the stimuli, இது எல்லாமே. So the change that occur in the form of the organism, functions of an organism, behavioral pattern of an organism, which are very helpful for the organism to adjust with its environment. The organism has to get the change in their form, in their function, in their behavioral pattern for the continuous life in that changed environment. It may be the hereditary nature that is called as an adaptation. Usually the adaptations are two types. One is the short-term adaptation and another one is the long-term adaptation. Short-term adaptation, long-term adaptation. Short-term adaptation means, for example, hibernation in most of the amphibians. So whenever the environmental condition is not suitable for the life, some of the amphibians are undergo the hibernation. That means the cold sleep, winter sleep. If the environmental condition is supposed to be very chill in nature, the organisms may reduce their bodily activity, become inactive. That is called a hibernation. And the long-term adaptation example, the different type of the claws are present in the different kind of the birds for pick up the food material for their life activities. So different kind of the claws and different kind of the length of the beaks are also. These are the adaptation of their life. Next, homeostasis. That is very important. The homeostasis means an internal balance. See, environmental condition, that means an external environment is not the permanent one, continuously going to change. That change the environmental condition has the direct impact on the living organism. So favorable internal environmental suitable for the functioning of the body of a bodily organ are present in every living beings. That is called the homeostasis. Favorable internal environment suitable for the functioning of the bodily organ are present in every living being. ஒவ்வொரு உயிரினத்திலுமே அந்த உயிரினம் நல்ல உயிர் வாழணுங்கிறதுக்காக internal balance இருக்கும். Even though the environmental condition, that means the external environmental condition, is going to continuously change, the organisms may get the constant internal environment that is called the homeostasis. Such constant internal environment is very important for the life of the organism. See, it may quite different from external environment. External environment continues to change, but the organism may get the constant internal environment by the physio-chemical biological action. Physical action, chemical action, biological action, by which the organism going to maintaining the normal thermal balance, normal water balance, normal acid-base balance. Okay, these things are very, very important that can achieved by the physical or the chemical or the biological actions. Okay, right. Next one. Changes in the internal, external environment do not have the much impact on the internal environment, as the living being have regulated system to adjust and maintain the internal environment. External environment is not the constant. It continuously going to change. So such changed environment, external environment, has a slight impact on the internal environment, even though the organism may get the modification, may get the physical or the chemical or the biological adjustment by which they can maintaining the normal internal balance. That is called as the homeostasis mechanism. Okay, see, the numerous scientists, variety of scientists and their taxonomists, வகைப்பாட்டியல்கள், அறிவியல் அறிஞர்கள் have made a tremendous contribution and the documentation in observation and study of even minute character of an organism. ஒவ்வொரு உயிரினத்திலும் காணப்படுகின்ற சின்ன 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 கேரக்டர் கூட கணக்கில் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு they are going to arranging the organism. So they do the very wonderful work on the classification. Their keen observation help have the lead to the classification of the living organism and study of their interrelationship. Only by the work done by the scientists and also the taxonomists, they consider the minute character of the different kind of the organism, by which they make a clear-cut classification that are very helpful to understanding the life of the organism and also understanding the interrelationship among the organisms. Okay, next, classification. What do you mean by the classification? See, arrangements of an organism into a convenient category or the group on the basis of their similarities and the differences in certain easily observable fundamental character. உயிரினங்களிடையே காணப்படுகின்ற எளிதில் பார்க்கக்கூடிய பண்பு நலன்களின் அடிப்படையில் எந்த அளவுக்கு அவைகளுக்கிடையே ஒற்றுமை இருக்கு, எந்த அளவுக்கு வேற்றுமை இருக்குங்கிறத பொறுத்து we are going to grouping the organism, வகைப்படுத்துறோம். See, arrangements of the organism into the convenient group, நமக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி. It is not the natural one. Be clear, it is not the natural one. For our convenient to study about the organism அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். நம்மளுடைய வசதிக்கு ஏற்ப, so that the organism arrangements of the organism into a convenient group or the convenient category based upon the similarities or the dissimilarities among the organism by observing the easily observable character. எளிதில் காணக்கூடிய பண்பு நலன்களை வைத்து அவைகளுக்கிடையேயான உயிரினங்களுக்கிடையான ஒற்றுமை வேற்றுமைகளை கணக்கில் கொண்டு அவற்றை தனித்தனியா குரூப் இருக்கிறோம். That is called classification. The scientific name of these category, ஒவ்வொரு கேட்டகரின்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, தொகுதின்னு சொல்லுவோம் தனித்தனியா குரூப்பா, that is called what? Taxa. That is called what? Taxa அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். In singular that is called taxon. In singular taxon சொல்லுவோம். Then the hierarchy of the category is raised. கொஞ்சமா காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ்ல கொண்டு வந்துடலாம். Keeping in mind the affinities and relationship of the various group. நல்லா கொஞ்சம் the hierarchy of the categories. இப்போ hierarchy பார்த்தோம்னா இங்க அடுத்த லைன் பார்த்துக்கோ. The taxonomy. The taxa include the categories of different level. ஒவ்வொரு கேட்டகரியிலையும் the hierarchical systemத்துல each and every category is called what? Taxon சொல்றாங்க. படிநிலைகள்னு சொல்றது. இதுல இந்த classification taxonomical hierarchyல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா different steps are there, different taxa. The taxonomical hierarchy has the different category, different taxa such as the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. இப்படிலாம் சொல்லலாம். See, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Among these, the species is the basic one. Species is the basic one, that is unique in nature. Similarized species grouped as the genus. Similarized genus grouped as the family. Similarized family grouped as the order. Similarized order grouped as the class. Similarized classes grouped as the phylum. Similarized phylum grouped as the kingdom. So these are the various taxonomic level, various taxa in the hierarchy of the taxonomy. Includes the multicellular animal such as the reptiles. இதையும் நம்ம consider செய்கிறோம். Okay. Next, taxonomy. It is a scientific term. Based on their characteristics, all the living organisms can be classified into different taxa. That is very important. Only based on the characteristic features of an organism, we are going to grouping the organism. That scientific study is called as the scientific process is called as the taxonomy. What is that? Taxonomy. The science of classification is called as the taxonomy. That is the definition. See, external and internal structure along with the external feature. That means the morphological feature, internal structure, anatomical feature, and also the developmental process, embryological developmental stages, and the ecological information. எங்க உயிர் வாழ்கிறது, எப்படி behave பண்ணுது, இதெல்லாமே are very essential for the taxonomy. External factor, internal factor, developmental methodology, and the ecological information of an organism are the basis of the classification, basis of the taxonomy. See, are very essential, which are the basis of taxonomical study. So, characterization, character features of an organism, identification of the organism, and the nomenclature. Nomenclature means what? Naming of organism. Okay, over animal நம்ம ஒரு பேர் வச்சிருக்கோம். How does the naming of organism அப்படிங்க பின்னாடி பார்ப்போம். And the classification are the basis of taxonomy. So what are the basis of taxonomy? Two more questions கேட்கலாம். See, what are the basic needs of classification? That is very important. That is very important. Need for classification. What is the need for? எதுக்காக சார் இந்த classification அப்படின்னா, first point. See, identify and differentiate the closely related. For an example, closely related. What are the pet animals in our house? The dog and also the cat. Even though they are the household organism, they are not similar. In some aspects they are similar, domestic animal. In some aspects they are dissimilar. See, the food habit wise and the anatomical wise,
they are somewhat they differ. So in some aspect they are closely related, some aspect they are distance related. So to identify the differentiate the organism, closely related organism, அதே போல இப்போ எடுத்துக்கோ the dog எடுத்துக்கோ, Pomeranian இருக்கு, Alsatian இருக்கு, ராஜபாளையம் இருக்கு, German Shepherd இருக்கு. Even though all of them are the dog, they are the closely related, but they have the some dissimilarized character. And to know the variation among the species, second point, variation means what? The difference. இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எடுத்துக்கோ, the fishes எடுத்துக்கோ, frog எடுத்துக்கோ, reptiles எடுத்துக்கோ, and also even the mammals எடுத்துக்கோ, mammals, variation among the species, the tiger, the lion, the elephant, all of them are the forest animals. Even though they are in the forest, their dwelling place is different, their mode of reproduction is different, their mode of nutrition is different. So the variation among the species, even in same species, the difference among them, even in the same species, the individual of the same species, the differences may occur. Adha therinjikkanum. And understanding the evolution of the species, from which organism the next organism is developed. இப்போ நம்ம சொல்லலாமே amoeba unicellular organism இருந்து multicellular வந்திருக்கோம். இப்போ நம்ம சொல்றோம் human beings were originated from the chimpanzee. How can we understanding the evolution? எப்படி மனிதன் சிம்பன்சில இருந்து வந்திருக்க முடியும், அதை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும் அப்படின்னா by comparing the characteristic features of the chimpanzee and also the human being, we can understanding the evolutionary process. That can be possible only by study the classification. Next, create the phylogenetic tree among the different group. Phylogenetic means the genetical relationship. See, genetical relationship, phylogenetical tree அப்படின்னா how does genetically they are similar or dissimilar, அதை பார்க்கிறதுக்கு தான் phylogenetic tree. மரபு ஒத்த மரம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, மரபியல் ரீதியாக அது போடுறது. Next one, convenient study of living thing, that is the basic things. See, இப்போ ஒரு டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ஸ்டோருக்கு போறோம், நிறைய பொருள் அடுக்கியிருக்காங்க, எது எது எங்கெங்க இருக்கு நமக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்? Suppose all the things are arranged in the same place, now we can't identify. That will take much time to separate, identify the each and everything. இதே தனித்தனியா இப்போ ஒரு லைப்ரரிக்கே போறீங்க, the things are, the books are arranged as per the autobiography or the scientific book or the story book or the crime book, இப்படி தனித்தனியா வச்சிருந்தாங்கன்னா easily we can identify. So in this world, the variety of living organism, it is not possible to study all the organism, but if the organism is supposed to classify it in a very prompt manner, we can easily study one or two examples of the each and every group of organism. For that, the classification is very important. Okay, right. Now today's class is over. Already over 50 நிமிஷம் ஆயிப்போச்சு. Okay, now the first class in 11th syllabus is over. Thank you. Goodbye. We will see in the next class. Okay, bye.